Welcome to the McKnight Fellowships for Book Artists information session. My name is Tori Aaron, and I'm the Director of Exhibitions and Artist Programs at Minnesota Center for Book Arts. Minnesota Center for Book Arts is a nonprofit arts organization focused on the book. We provide youth and adult workshops in paper making, letterpress printing, screen printing, bookbinding, paper marbling, and book-related arts. Our programs span from exhibitions, visiting artist talks, fellowships, mentorships, an artist collective, a membership program, and an artist consignment program in our shop. We are so pleased to partner with the McKnight Foundation in our second year of the program, offering 2 fellowships in book arts. We are located in the Open Book Building in downtown Minneapolis, alongside 2 other book-themed nonprofits, the Loft Literary Center and Milkweed Editions. This is an image of the main lobby of the Open Book Building. If you have been to Open Book, you might recall the book-inspired staircase designed by artist Karen Worth. We have a shop which is currently online only due to the global pandemic. MCBA has 2 exhibition spaces, the main gallery and the Outlook Gallery. The Outlook Gallery is currently viewable on Washington Avenue to pedestrians and passersby. We have a letterpress studio with Vandercook presses, etching presses, and a type library. We also have 2 paper-making studios for paper making and marbling, a bookbindery, library, darkroom, and screen printing studio. So a little bit about the McKnight Foundation. Founded on the belief that Minnesota thrives when its artists thrive, the McKnight Foundation's arts program is one of the oldest and largest of its kind in the country. Support for individual working Minnesota artists has been a cornerstone of the program since it began in 1981. The McKnight Artist Fellowship Program provides annual, unrestricted cash awards to outstanding mid-career artists based in Minnesota in 14 different creative disciplines. Program partner organizations administer the fellowships and structure them to respond to the unique challenges of different disciplines. Currently, the foundation contributes about $1.7 million per year to its statewide fellowships. For more information, you can visit mcknight.org/artistfellowships. The McKnight Fellowships for Book Artists application cycle opened on December 1st, 2020 and closes on March 1st, 2021 at noon Central Standard Time. Between March 2nd and April 15th, 3 jurors representing diverse backgrounds who are professionals in the field will review all applications for the first round. Applicants will be notified of their status on April 16th, and those who move on to round 2 will schedule studio visits on either May 1st or May 2nd, depending on availability. Finalists will be notified by May 7th, and the fellowship year begins August 2021 and runs through July 2022. This fellowship program supports 2 established artists per year by providing significant financial assistance, creating opportunities to meet with local and national arts professionals, organizing a panel featuring the fellow and invited critics, and working with the fellows to create an individualized professional development plan. This program is for mid-career book artists living in Minnesota who are not enrolled in a degree-seeking program, who are over the age of 18, and who provide evidence of professional achievements. In order to be eligible, applicants must create work that falls within a book arts context. They must be over the age of 18. They must have a Minnesota state residency for at least 1 year prior to their application deadline. They may not be related to staff or board of the McKnight Foundation or of MCBA. They must have a sit-out period from winning any McKnight grant for 5 years. And they can only apply for one McKnight Fellowship per year. This includes all 14 program partners. The fellowship provides 2 book artists with the following awards: $25,000 unrestricted cash award to allow time for study, reflection, new projects, and experimentation. They will receive 2 studio visits with an art curator or critic in the field, a public panel discussion, a $1,000 custom tutorial stipend, $750 for artwork documentation support, such as a website, video work, or photography, studio access to MCBA, and the opportunity to attend an artist residency within 2 years of the fellowship. What is book art? We receive this question a lot. At MCBA, book art is broadly defined. An artist book is a medium of artistic expression that uses the form or function of the book as inspiration. It is the artistic initiative seen in the illustration, choice of materials, creation process, layout, and design that makes it an art object. A book that only contains text is simply a book. Even if authored by an artist, it would be a book that belongs in a store or on the shelves of a library. What truly makes an artist book is the artist's intent. And artists have used the book as inspiration in myriad ways and techniques, from traditional to the experimental. It uses a family of processes that includes but are not limited to letterpress printing, screen printing, intaglio, paper decoration, box making, bookbinding, paper making, and more. They exist at the intersections of printmaking, photography, poetry, experimental narrative, visual arts, graphic design, sculpture, and publishing. Book art may encompass narrative, sequencing, spatial elements, visual, verbal language, instruction, mapping, reference, installation, typography, documentation, and more. What does it mean to be a mid-career artist? Mid-career artists have at least 8 years of professional experience, preferably in group or solo shows. They demonstrate a sustained level of accomplishment, commitment, and excellence in their work. Their exhibitions undertaken as part of a degree-seeking program at an institution of higher learning will not be considered. For example, a senior thesis exhibition or juried student show. It is important to remember that McKnight Artist Fellowships are not lifetime achievement awards and are not about the age of the applicant. Rather, these fellowships are a recognition of the recipient's significant body of work, their creative achievement, their sustained contribution to the artistic field, and to the Minnesota arts ecosystem. Applicants must have lived in the state of Minnesota for 1 year prior to the application deadline. Proof of residency documents can include a Minnesota driver's license, Minnesota ID card, a utility bill in the applicant's name, a lease, or a tribal ID. Award winners must reside in the state of Minnesota for the duration of their fellowship. Fellows who travel for work outside of the state during their fellowship year should be in the state for at least 6 months and should have a plan to return to Minnesota. Application instructions. The jury panel will be looking primarily at your image samples in the first round. They will look for consistent artistic excellence and merit, clarity and uniqueness of vision, They will be reading your artist statement, which will show a commitment to your practice, and your professional resume will show them your professional artistic accomplishment to date. Application instructions. MCBA uses the platform Submittable. You can sign up for a free account to begin your application process, which can be saved as a draft. The materials needed are contact information form, proof of Minnesota residency, resume, artist statement, image description list, 10 image samples or video samples, and an additional PDF, which is optional. Images must be no larger than 5 megabytes, 300 dpi, 1200 pixels or greater on the smallest side. There are resources available in the application guidelines for any Photoshop help. You may submit up to 2 videos under 3 minutes in length. Video submissions should supplement the 10 still images, meaning that you should include 1 still image of your video within the 10 total images. You have the option of including an additional PDF for your image samples. For example, if you include a cover image of your poetry chapbook, you could include the entire poem text in the PDF so that the jurors have an idea of what your chapbook is about. Video is an excellent way to showcase your work. I'm going to play a short video with tips on how to document book art.
I make the video in a place that has even, indirect sunlight or by a window on an overcast day. You can also use a copy camera setup if you have access to one. The lights are at 45-degree angles on both sides of the book. If you don't have access to a copy camera, you can use desk lights like I'm showing here. These I got for probably $20 each at IKEA if you want to make a setup at home. I use my iPhone since it makes a video of a good size and quality and allows me to see the video as it is being made on the screen. I put it on a phone tripod mount mounted to my tripod, which I set up to be directly over the book. This is the phone tripod mount that I used. I bought this at West Photo in Minneapolis. Using a tripod or having the camera stationary in some way is important for a steady view, so that as your viewer is looking at your book, they're not getting dizzy from camera shake. Pick a piece of art paper or a surface that is a different color than your book so that your book pages don't get lost in the background. This book is black and white, so I chose a light gray piece of paper. I center the book in the camera frame and then open the front cover and mark a dot on both edges and the center so that when I open the book and turn the pages, I can keep the book relatively in the same spot during the whole video. Have the book fill your camera frame with only a few inches of background so the viewer can see the details of your work. Practice turning the pages of the book once before recording to learn if there are any spots that are awkward to turn or places in the book where you'll have to hold the pages down. Turn the pages at a pace where the viewer can see each spread. While I'm making the recording, I'm keeping an eye on the pencil dots that I made at the bottom edge and the center of the book to keep the book square within the frame. Try to keep your hands out of the way of your book while turning the pages. Be patient. I usually make a few videos before I get one I'm happy with. Remember to delete the video audio if you don't want background noises or to hear the sounds of the book pages being turned in your video.
Mom, can I have some more screen time?
Your artist statement. Your artist statement should speak to the images you are submitting and should describe how the fellowship will affect you and your work. In your artist statement, you should address at least one of the following statements or questions. Describe the future direction of your work. What will you do with the funds? How will the fellowship programming benefit your practice? Why is this a pivotal moment in your practice where receiving the fellowship will make a difference? As I mentioned earlier, we use the platform Submittable. There is a link to this page on our website and in the application guidelines. Click Submit to create an account. This will bring you to a page with information about the program. Scroll down to enter your contact information, save, and continue to create your account. Fill out the contact information form and eligibility requirements. You must acknowledge that you have only applied for one McKnight Fellowship program for the 2021 year. Upload your proof of residency, and there is an option to enter in your demographic information. McKnight and MCBA are interested in collecting this information as we focus increasingly on racial equity, diversity, and inclusion in our grant making. Upload your artist resume and artist statement, your image description list, and all image samples. Upload your optional video and additional optional PDF. And finally, confirm whether or not you or a member of your team has received a McKnight Fellowship in the past. You can save your application as a draft and submit before the deadline. It is best practices to give yourself a pre-deadline before the actual deadline to allow for any technological issues that arise. Thank you so much for your interest in the McKnight Fellowships for Book Artists. We look forward to viewing your application.